Hello and welcome to Undergrad and Unraveled. In this first module, we are setting the stage by talking about the Strivers Network and why studying abroad could be your game changer. We'll address the hurdles many Sri Lankan students face, bust some myths, and share inspiring success stories. By the end, you'll see why aiming for top universities worldwide is not a crazy dream, it's an achievable goal. Let's dive in. Imagine a community built just for ambitious students like you. That's TSN. The Strivers Network was founded by young Sri Lankans who themselves made it to world-class universities and wanted to guide others along the same path. TSN's mission is simple: to level the playing field for high-achieving students from Sri Lankan public schools or under-resourced backgrounds. Why? Because too often, these strivers are uninformed or misinformed about overseas opportunities and get no guidance in navigating complex college applications. They're talented and hardworking, yet they're overlooked by traditional systems that focus on well-resourced urban or international schools. TSN aims to change that. It's a free support system that provides personalized mentoring and resources to help you apply abroad. In the long run, TSN isn't just about sending students overseas, it's about building a network of graduates and professionals who will come back and give back to Sri Lanka. Think of it as a cycle of success. You get to help achieve your you get help to achieve your dreams, and later you help others to do the same, all while contributing to your community. As of recording, TSN has supported over 50 students across 3 cohorts to earn over $4 million in scholarships to over 20 universities, including STEM hubs such as MIT and Caltech, world-renowned research universities such as Oxford and NUS, and elite liberal arts colleges such as Williams and Amherst. You might be wondering, is TSN part of the government or a private company? TSN is actually a registered nonprofit initiative driven by passionate volunteers and mentors. It was started by top university students for the benefit of future top university students. The founders themselves experienced the challenges of being public school students with big dreams. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: the struggles and fears that come up when you think about applying to foreign universities. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed, you're not alone. Sri Lankan students, especially from public schools, face some common challenges in this journey. Firstly, a lack of information and guidance. Many of you have probably never had someone sit down and explain how to apply to, say, Harvard or Oxford. In fact, students in Sri Lankan public schools often aren't exposed to the university options that exist abroad and may even be discouraged from aiming overseas. There's no college counselor telling you about application deadlines or required tests. Contrast this with students at elite private or international schools. They often have dedicated staff guiding them step by step. It's an unfair advantage. As a result, public school students might not even know where to start. They might miss out simply because no one told them that certain scholarships or colleges exist. Secondly, misinformation and myths. Perhaps you've heard things like studying abroad is only for the rich, or only geniuses get into those universities. These myths can really hold us back. Let's bust a few. It's too expensive. I can't afford it. Sure, foreign tuition looks sky high in rupees. Seeing fees in the tens of thousands of dollars is enough to scare anyone. But here's what many don't know. Top-tier universities often have generous financial aid. They let students pay only what they can afford. Believe it or not, about 20% of Harvard undergraduates pay absolutely nothing to attend. And that's covering tuition, accommodation, meals, all of it. This isn't a loan or a trick. It's outright aid. You don't have to pay back. Some of the best schools like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, Amherst even have need-blind admissions for international students, meaning your ability to pay doesn't affect your chances of getting in. The funding is there if you earn your spot. Also, unlike some local scholarships that come with bonds or minimum service requirements, these universities don't attach sneaky conditions to their aid. Yale, for instance, gives aid with no loans at all. So too expensive is a myth. If you're a top student, money need not be a barrier. Second, it's impossibly difficult. Only geniuses or divine beings get in. This is another assumption that can discourage you. Yes, the competition is stiff, but admissions officers aren't looking for mythical superhumans. They're looking for smart, motivated individuals like you who worked hard with the opportunities they had. One Sri Lankan student described how, when he first Googled the US college process, he was bombarded by incomprehensible terms: early action, regular decision, SAT, ACT, and absurd tuition fees. It made him feel like these colleges must be for divine beings, and he nearly gave up on the US entirely. Can you relate to that? The forms and jargon can feel like an alien language. But here's the secret: once you break it down, it's absolutely doable step by step. That student did eventually get proper guidance and realize top colleges are not just for prodigies or the super rich. They're for strivers who prepare well and dare to apply. In fact, top universities actively seek out promising students from all backgrounds. For example, a girl from rural India, the daughter of illiterate subsistence farmers, received a full scholarship to Harvard University after an NGO mentored her. Harvard recognized her talent and potential despite her humble origins. If they can do that, why not you? A bright student from Sri Lanka with a unique story can absolutely catch their eye. Third myth: studying abroad, brain drain. I'll be betraying my country. Some people around you might say, why go abroad? Don't take your talents overseas. It's true that we don't want to lose bright minds from Sri Lanka, but going abroad to study doesn't mean you'll never come back or help Sri Lanka. In fact, many students, especially those in TSN, are driven by the opposite idea. They want to gain skills and connections abroad to better give back to their community later. Brain drain can become brain gain. For example, Abid Ismail, who went to Princeton, said that being surrounded by infinite opportunities and ideas and a network of the greatest minds will help him spark change in his birth country. That's the mindset you can have. Use the world's best resources to make a difference at home. So, don't let the naysayers scare you. You can be proudly Sri Lankan and an international achiever. And the third challenge is intimidation and self-doubt. Even if money isn't an issue and you have good grades, the process itself can feel intimidating. Unfamiliar application systems, tests like the SAT, writing essays about yourself, it's all new and a bit scary. It's normal to think, am I really cut out for this? Maybe I should just stick to what I know. We've seen many students cut their dreams short because studying abroad seemed too expensive, intimidating, or difficult. If you felt this, know that you're not alone and that it is possible to overcome these fears with the right guidance. That's what this course and TSN are here for. Now that you've acknowledged these challenges, take a moment to reflect. Have any of these thoughts been on your mind? If so, remember, every problem has a solution. Lack of information? We are going to give you the information. No guidance? TSN is offering guidance. Worried you're not good enough? There are ways to become a stronger applicant, and colleges look at potential, not just current achievement. Feeling alone? Well, there's a whole community of strivers walking the same path. This course is the first step to flipping those challenges around. Given all these challenges, you might ask, is studying abroad really worth it? Why not just aim for a local university and avoid the hassle? Great question. Let's talk about the huge benefits and opportunities that come with an international education, things that can truly change your life. Number one, world-class education. Universities abroad, especially in countries like the US, UK, or Australia, often have far more resources. We're talking cutting-edge labs, massive libraries, and professors who are leading researchers in their fields. You get to learn from the best of the best. There may be courses or specializations that aren't available in Sri Lanka. For example, fields like biotechnology, astrophysics, or even niche subjects like paleontology, you name it. There's a university abroad that excels in it. Studying abroad opens up academic options you might never have access to otherwise. Secondly, advanced facilities and research. Have you dreamed of doing big research or projects? Top universities often have funding and facilities for students to do just that. Maybe you'll get to work on a solar energy project in a state-of-the-art engineering lab, or conduct research on cancer treatments in a university hospital. These experiences can be career-defining. Many students from countries like ours find that abroad, they can finally unleash their full potential because the tools and support are there. The third reason, diverse courses and flexibility. Some education systems abroad, like the US liberal arts model, which we'll discuss more in the next module, allow you to explore a broad range of subjects before specializing. You might enter thinking you'll be an engineer, but take an anthropology class that changes your perspective. The flexibility means you can discover new passions. You can often combine majors or take minors in totally different fields, say computer science with the music, or business with environmental science. This kind of academic freedom is rare in Sri Lanka's more narrowly focused system. The fourth reason, global exposure. This is a big one. It's not just about textbooks and exams. When you study abroad, you live in a completely new environment. You meet people from all over the world. Your roommate could be from China, your lab partner from the USA, your football teammate from Kenya. Daily life becomes a cultural exchange. You'll try different foods, celebrate new holidays, and learn to see global issues through others' eyes. This broadens your mind immensely. You'll develop a truly international outlook, which is so important in today's interconnected world. And guess what? Employers value this. 59% of employers said that study abroad experience is valuable for a candidate's career at their organization. Why? Because it shows that you can adapt to new environments, work with diverse teams, and likely have language or communication skills that others may not. The fifth reason, personal growth and independence. For many students, the biggest transformation is in themselves. Living away from home, especially in a different country, makes you independent and resilient. You will learn to solve everyday problems, from cooking your own meals to managing a budget in a foreign currency to navigating a new city's public transport. These might sound like mundane things, but they build your confidence and life skills. By the time you graduate, you'll have matured in ways that staying in your comfort zone might not foster. You become more resourceful and self-reliant. Employers notice this too. In fact, 84% of study abroad alumni felt that their experience helped them build valuable job skills. It's the sixth reason, networking and connections. Studying abroad means you're building a worldwide network of friends, classmates, professors, and alumni. These connections can open doors throughout your life. Your college friend might become a co-founder in a startup you create. A professor might recommend you for a research internship. An alum from your university could become a mentor who guides your career. You never know who you'll meet. You could be sharing a class with a future Nobel Prize winner or a future CEO. Being part of a global alumni network also gives you support in virtually any country you go to after graduation. The seventh reason, career boost. International experience can seriously turbocharge your career opportunities. Employers often view study abroad as a sign of ambition and adaptability. There are stats to back this up. One study found that graduates who studied abroad had 25% higher starting salaries on average than those who did not. That's a huge difference. It's not magic. It's because of all the points above. Better skills, knowledge, and networks lead to better job prospects. Lastly, scholarships and funding. Yes, this is a benefit too. The hunt for scholarships is competitive, but because many top universities have big endowments, think billions of dollars, there are opportunities to get your entire education funded. We'll talk a lot more about scholarships and financial aid in Module 11. But for now, just realize that studying abroad can be financially feasible through scholarships, effectively making a world-class education free or very low cost for you. That's an opportunity worth aiming for. To sum it up, studying abroad can give you an education that broadens your horizons, academically, culturally, and personally. It's like opening a door to a bigger world with experiences that will set you apart. Remember, going abroad for university isn't about escaping Sri Lanka or abandoning home. It's about equipping yourself with the best education and experiences so you can come back and contribute more. Many TSN students and mentors strongly feel this. As one TSN mentor put it, Sri Lanka's future is only as bright as the individual futures of every young person with a dream. By striving for the best opportunities, you're actually investing in a brighter future for yourself and your country. Now let's get a bit of inspiration from those who have gone before you. TSN may be a new initiative, but already there are powerful success stories of Sri Lankan students breaking barriers. Some of these are now active members of TSN themselves. Take Nilushi Vitanachi. She went to Visakha Vidyalaya in Colombo, and she found a love for physics, chemistry, and all the sciences and math from an early age. She ultimately became the first female Sri Lankan candidate to win a bronze medal at the International Mathematics Olympiad. And that's not all. She also snagged a silver medal at the International Chemistry Olympiad. Where is she now? After individualized guidance from TSN, she has reached MIT and now studies material science and physics as a budding researcher. Amaya went to Sangamita Balika Vidyalaya in Gaul. With dreams of becoming a diplomat, she found her passions in debating, modeling United Nations, journalism, and English literature. She now studies English and political science at the #2 ranked liberal arts college in America, Amherst College. Puragesh went to Hindu College in Colombo. He too had a knack for STEM subjects. He went on to receive an honorable mention at the International Mathematics Olympiad and even went to rank second in the island for his A-levels in the physical science stream. He even received an offer from Oxford. He ultimately decided to attend Caltech, where he now studies physics as a budding researcher on a full-ride scholarship. Ritmaka went to Ananda College in Colombo. From an early age, he cultivated an eclectic mix of interests in theater, debating, community service, gymnastics, and student leadership. He even went on to appear in Netflix's Funny Boy. Ritmaka now studies economics and theater at Borden College and also serves as our beloved Director of Programming. Mihili went to Girls High School Kandy. She co-founded her school Junior English Literary Association and led her school Scrabble team. She also found a passion for programming, completing several certifications online. She now studies engineering at Cornell University, where she is actively involved in the computer science department. And lastly, Sandaru. Sandaru went to Mahinda College in Gaul. He founded his school's mathematics circle and went on to receive an honorable mention at the International Mathematics Olympiad. He now studies mechanical engineering at Northwestern University in Illinois, where he is also a member of the Space Technology and Rocketry Society. These stories aren't fairy tales. They're real Sri Lankans who faced the same doubts you might be feeling and ultimately triumphed. They attended public or less resourced schools, just like many of you. Through determination and seeking the right help, they ended up at some of the most prestigious campuses worldwide. And importantly, they all share a common theme. They want to pull others up behind them. That's the essence of TSN and this course, creating a chain reaction of success. So when you hear these names, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and US, don't think that's not for me. Instead, think if they could do it, maybe I can too. The gap between you and that success story is not as wide as it seems. It starts with learning the process and preparing yourself step by step, which is exactly what we're going to do in this course. By now, you should have a clearer picture of why studying abroad is worth aspiring to and how TSN is here to make it possible. If all this is sparking a fire in you, if you're thinking, yes, I want to try for this, then your next actionable step is to apply for the Scholars Pipeline program. The Scholars Pipeline, often just called Pipeline, is TSN's flagship initiative to mentor students like you through the entire application journey. It's a 9-month intensive mentorship, free of charge, where you'll get training for exams like the SAT, guidance on college essays, application strategies, and much more. We'll talk in detail about Pipeline in Module 12. Essentially, it's your fast track to become the next success story. TSN typically selects around 25 pipeline scholars per year, focusing on students from public schools, low-income backgrounds, or first-generation backgrounds who are entering grade 13 or have just finished their A-levels. If that sounds like you, excellent grades, active leadership or extracurriculars, and a drive to give back, you have nothing to lose by applying. By joining Pipeline, you could be one of a select group of Sri Lankan students to receive one-on-one coaching, resources, and moral support as you apply to universities abroad. It's a fantastic opportunity to get expert help and join a community of peers all aiming high. So here's the call to action. Go to bit.ly/TSNSP5 app and apply to the Scholars Pipeline. Even if you're not 100% sure about studying abroad, applying to Pipeline costs nothing but could open massive doors. Don't self-reject. As you've learned in this module, underestimation is the enemy. Give yourself the chance to be guided and to grow. I remember one of our co-founders, Sunuragi, said, I do not want students to turn away just because they were not informed. Well, now you are informed. You know the challenges, but also see the incredible rewards awaiting you. Dare to dream big. Your journey to a world-class education begins now. If you haven't already, take a moment after this video to check out the Scholars Pipeline application. It could be the start of something life-changing for you. Let's unravel this journey together, one module at a time. Up next is Module 2, where we'll start exploring your options and finding the right path for you.